So we'll have a look at Warrior Two. It's one of the more popular yoga postures. You'll often see pictures in a magazine of maybe somebody in a Warrior Two. If not a Warrior Two, they're going to be in a downward dog. So the Warrior Two posture, it can be middle part of a sequence, and there'll be other parts of this course where we would look at transitioning into postures like Warrior Two or Crescent Lunge or Warrior One from different postures. But looking at them in isolation, we'll usually will start at the top of the mat and we'll take the stride back, whichever foot we're going to stride back from. So I'm going to step to the top of the mat. So we'll go through those actions of extending up, chin dropping, slight tilt back of the pelvis, and as with that tilt back, you'll notice some engagement in the thighs, maybe the knees lift slightly, and you might feel a little bit of engagement in the abdominal muscles. So you're in this posture, you're feeling strong, you're feeling like a mountain. And then from here, I'm going to step back with my left foot to Warrior Two. So when I step back, I'm going to turn my left toes out, and the amount that they turn out will vary person to person dependent on range of movement in the hips and to a certain degree in the ankle. But roughly speaking, it's around about the 45-degree mark. But like with all yoga postures, there's always going to be room for maneuver. All of our bodies are very different. So we've extended up tall, and also when I step back, because we're turning the foot out, the hips are going to be more off at an angle as opposed to like a lot of our standing postures, hips, chest, straight on. So I'm extending up. So striding back with the left foot, turn the left foot out and keep the arms down for the moment. So from this position, I've turned that left foot out, my toes roughly 40 degrees, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. And also another part of our alignment is the knee above the ankle. And whenever we're stacking joints in yoga postures, we are being efficient with our energy to keep there. So that stacking is structurally efficient, as opposed to if my knee was forward of my ankle, I'm going to have to work a little bit harder to hold this position. So I've got the knee above the ankle. Another alignment cue is if we were to draw a line from the front heel, it should roughly go through the middle of the back arch. If you step back into that position and you're feeling a little bit off balance, then do feel free to adjust the foot slightly either way until you feel stable. Also as well, just a mention about how far do we step back. I'm just going to step back to the top of the mat. So I could make a short step back. I could step back to here, and I've got the alignment cues. I've got the knee above the ankle. I've got that straight line from the heel going through the arch of that back foot. But I don't feel as I'm working that hard to be here. So we want to step back to a point where you can feel the legs are working, they're engaged to hold this position, to hold that knee roughly above the ankle. But obviously you don't want to step back too far to the point where all of your weight in that back foot is going to the outside edge of that back foot, or it's drawing this knee back. So again, if you're new to this, you're obviously going to play around and take a little bit of time to explore the postures. So when we're stepping back, we've got the hips off to the side. There's a slight external rotation of this, in this case, my left hip. So there's a hip actioning open there, or stretching. The movement works on increasing the range of movement in the hips, as well as stretching and engaging these muscles in the legs. So from here, the remainder of the posture is raising up the arms. So in this case, I've got my right arm in front and I've got my left arm behind me. So they're roughly horizontal. Occasionally it's quite nice to, or quite interesting to turn back and look at this back arm, because we're often, part of the posture is looking forwards over what is the front hand, the right hand, but sometimes we're not really aware of what this back arm is doing. It could be all over the place. So when we're in this position, we'll turn and maybe occasionally look at that back arm. Also as well, when we've got the arms up, sometimes there's a tendency to kind of end up in this position, and I'm exaggerating slightly, so you're leaning forward. So as I'm filming this, I'm looking in the camera and I can see I'll come back. So I'm upright and vertical, shoulders relaxed, and I'm looking forwards over the top of that right hand. And then I'll step my left foot forwards and we'll come back to standing.